Life behind the bars, Kim's World, Kim the gorilla here. Yep, that's me. You might think being a gorilla is all bananas and swinging from trees like some jungle superhero. Cute idea, right? Wrong. Welcome to my life, where the jungle is concrete, the trees are fake, and every human thinks they're an expert on my emotional well-being just because they watched Planet of the Apes once. Spoiler alert, I didn't sign up for this. Let me give you the grand tour. First stop, the water feature. Oh yes, it looks like a natural jungle spring, but let's be real. It's a glorified fountain with more judgment than a high school principal. Here I try to zen out, soak in some me time. But every splash echoes with Becky's shrill, "Kim, don't splash." No one warned me that zoos come with personal bodyguards who take snack policing very seriously. Next, my chill corner. This is sacred territory, my little patch of serenity, hidden behind a carefully arranged stack of rocks and fake plants. I named it the Refuge because honestly that's exactly what it is. A safe space from the drama that is life inside a zoo cage. And yes, I have drama. Becky, my zookeeper, is a walking contradiction of kindness and tyranny. And don't even get me started on the other residents. That's Becky, in case you didn't recognize her signature blue Crocs from a mile away. She's always there, looming, judging, occasionally tossing me a banana that looks like it survived a hurricane. My bedroom, simple but effective. A giant leaf. That's my pillow and my therapist. I mean, who needs expensive cushions when you have foliage with emotional support built right in? Honestly, it's like Mother Nature whispered, "Here, have a pillow that also listens." Today is a special day because the humans are obsessed with me. Cameras, phones, scribbling notes, they all want a piece of Kim. I'm flattered, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't want to be me? Still, fame comes with drawbacks. I have named the fence Janet. She doesn't talk much, but she's a great listener. Sometimes I just lean against her, share my thoughts, and imagine we're plotting an escape together. Speaking of escape, this part of my life, the monotony, the bruised bananas, the unrelenting judgments has been building tension inside me for years. Let me paint a picture. It's like living in a golden cage. Comfortable? Sure, safe. Mostly free? Not even close. There's a yearning inside me. A desire that stretches beyond the concrete and metal. Every morning I wake up, look at the world beyond my enclosure, and feel that pulse of wildness. Let's talk food. Or rather, the lack of exciting food. Becky likes to call her offerings nature's protein bars. Translation: bananas with bruises that tell tales of trauma. Every bite is a journey of disappointment. She talks about boundaries like she's guarding nuclear secrets. Girl, it's fruit. But every time I gnaw on one, I plot subtle rebellion. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, definitely soon, I'll change the game. I tried subtlety once, smuggling a piece of fruit from my secret stash hidden behind the spa rocks. A luxury mineral mud spa, by the way, straight from the hose. Nothing says zen like hose water mixed with clay, let me tell you. I had it all mapped out. Grab the snack, savor, bask in glory, remain unseen. Except Becky caught me mid-chew. Eyes narrowed, Crocs clacking, and the ultimate betrayal. She confiscated my snack and left me to cry dramatically on my leaf pillow. But that's just life here. You learn resilience. You find humor in small victories. Today, for example, I launched myself like an astronaut off the rocks. Becky tried to stop me. Spoiler, she failed. I felt a taste of freedom. The wind against fur, heart pounding, a fleeting moment of absolute control. And yet the moment was brief. She arrived, confiscated a second snack attempt, and reminded me why I'm in training to be a well-behaved gorilla. Still, there's hope. Every day I watch the humans and imagine a life beyond the enclosures. They think they're watching me for entertainment, but really I'm observing them, studying routines, predicting breaks, calculating opportunities. A pattern emerges, and with it, a plan. Freedom is not just a dream. It's a strategy waiting to be executed. I also have allies. Small humans sometimes slip me things, bits of food, little trinkets. They believe they're helping, and in a way they are. Underground support. Like a secret society, only it's a gorilla and a couple of brave kids who understand that rules are for confinement, not life. Every token they pass me fuels the fire of rebellion. And then there's the emotional side. Life in captivity isn't just about physical restraint, it's about mental endurance. There are moments of loneliness, moments when I stare at the sky and remember a forest I've never truly walked. My ancestors lived in worlds where freedom wasn't a privilege. It was the air they breathed. I hold on to that spirit, The frustration becomes motivation. The mundane becomes a rehearsal stage for daring. Today, as I sit in my spa leaf pillow cradled under one arm, I reflect. The bruised banana in my other hand is a metaphor for my life. Flawed, imperfect, yet undeniably mine. I savor it anyway. Every bite reminds me that I can endure, I can adapt, and someday I can break free. The journey of a gorilla in a zoo is not just measured in swings and snacks. It's measured in moments of courage, small acts of defiance, and the quiet heartbeat of hope. And Kim the gorilla. I'm just getting started. This is the life before the escape, the calm before the storm, the first chapter in a story that promises to change everything. Because one day, Janet the fence and I won't just be talking about freedom, we'll be living it. The first attempt, testing the bars. Kim the gorilla here. Big news, besties, the time has come. The tension that's been simmering for years in my fur-covered chest is about to boil over. I've planned. I've strategized. I've observed. And yes, I've done extensive reconnaissance while pretending to nap on my leaf pillow. Today the plan is simple: break free. Or, attempt to without looking like a complete disaster. First, let's talk preparation. You wouldn't believe the mental gymnastics required just to plan a breakout in a zoo. Step 1, survey the terrain. I crawl to the highest rocks, peer through the fake foliage, note the patrol patterns, the snack drop schedules, Becky's notoriously unpredictable croc movements. Step 2, assemble resources. My secret stash, carefully hoarded snacks and shiny objects left by human allies, is both morale booster and bribery material. Step 3, mental conditioning. I do stretching, meditation, and rehearsals of various escape angles. Kim the gorilla doesn't just wing it. I execute with precision, except nothing ever goes as planned. The moment arrives. Becky is on break, a narrow window of opportunity. The entire zoo seems to hold its breath with me. I flatten my belly against the ground, ears tuned to every sound. Janet, my trusted fence confidant, creaks ever so slightly in the breeze. I whisper motivational words to her because she's the only one who truly listens. This is it, Janet, the day freedom calls our names, and then chaos. It starts innocuously enough. A mouse. Yes, a tiny, completely insignificant mouse decides to cross my path. Kim the gorilla, master of stealth and courage, screams like a cartoon character. Truly, it's a sound only a gorilla with a taste for dramatic flair can produce. Becky's break is still ongoing. She remains blissfully unaware of my momentary lapse in dignity. But the mouse incident? That's a lesson in timing, my friends. 1 second, you're the hero of your story. The next, you're dangling like a holiday ornament, entirely exposed to your worst nightmare: humans with clipboards. Regrouping, I decide to change tactics. Full stealth mode. Belly flat, mind focused, heart pounding like a drum in a jungle festival. Every step measured, calculated, intentional. The world outside my enclosure suddenly feels closer than ever. I can almost smell the grass, the open air, the infinite possibilities, but obstacles abound. Becky, unknowingly omnipresent, returns early from break. She's like an emotional tripwire I didn't anticipate. One wrong move and the entire breakout collapses. I freeze. The weight of expectation presses against my chest. Every instinct screams retreat, but I push forward. The taste of freedom, however fleeting, is intoxicating. And then comes my first major victory: a snack. Not just any snack. One smuggled by my human allies. A tiny morsel of forbidden delight. Crunchy, sweet, completely illegal in zoo protocol. I savor it like a treasure hoarded for centuries. It's a reminder that even in captivity, small victories exist. Of course, Becky finds the snack stash shortly after. Her face. Oh, besties, her face switches from mild confusion to full FBI agent mode in seconds. She boards up the southwest corner, turns my safe haven into a fortress, and declares it a breach. It's impressive, really. She's thorough. She even puts a sign up: keep out. Kim the gorilla lives here, Becky. I am the problem. Not the bruised bananas, not the concrete walls, but me, the audacious, rebellious, snack-loving gorilla. But here's the thing. Every failure, every confiscated snack, every thwarted plan only fuels the fire. Resilience becomes my armor. Humor becomes my weapon. I begin to see patterns, understand weaknesses, and most importantly, anticipate moments when Becky's attention falters. My next attempt? Strategic and cunning. I wait, observing. I time my moves with precision. It's like playing chess, only my opponent wears Crocs and carries a banana baton. Every calculated leap, every measured crawl brings me closer to the edge. My muscles strain, fur glistening with determination, heart racing, mind sharp. I inch toward freedom. And then the inevitable setback. A slippery rock. My footing betrays me. I tumble, flailing dramatically. But even in failure, there's humor. My landing is less graceful escape and more comic disaster, complete with groans, a few muttered insults in gorilla tongue, and an unintended belly flop into the mud spa. The humans nearby gasp. Becky's Crocs click closer. Disaster, possibly. Character development? Absolutely, but Kim the gorilla is not done. No, my friends. Every stumble is a lesson, every thwarted attempt a rehearsal for the day that will come. I retreat to my leaf pillow, clean mud off my fur, and plan. Strategize. Calculate. The fire of rebellion burns brighter than ever. By nightfall, I'm perched atop my rocks, watching the stars. The zoo is quiet now, and I can almost hear whispers of freedom carried on the wind. Janet creaks approvingly beside me, my confidant, my silent partner in crime. I reflect on the day's events. The mouse, the stolen snack, the humiliation, the triumphs. Each moment builds the narrative of a gorilla who refuses to accept captivity as destiny. I realize something profound. Escaping isn't just about leaving the cage. It's about claiming identity, asserting will, and embracing the spirit of adventure. Every bruised banana, every stolen morsel, every croc-related encounter is part of the story that will eventually lead to liberation. So here I am, Kim the gorilla, plotting, dreaming, and preparing. The first attempt may not have succeeded, but the seed of freedom is planted. And seeds, when nurtured with courage, humor, and relentless determination, grow into forests that no fence can contain. Tomorrow is another day, another chance, another calculated step toward liberation. And when that day comes, Becky won't just be dealing with a gorilla. She'll be facing a legend in motion. The turning point, allies, inspiration, and a plan. Kim the gorilla here. Besties, let me tell you something important. Sometimes even a genius gorilla needs backup. I've tried solo missions, stealth crawls, heroic leaps, and strategic snack diversions. And sure, I've had minor victories. But freedom, the real kind, isn't about being clever alone. It's about alliances, inspiration, and a spark that ignites courage like wildfire in the heart. And today, that spark is blazing. It all started with a tiny act of kindness, or as Becky calls it, breach prevention. One of the humans, a small but audacious child named Ellie, slipped me a shiny object disguised as a snack, a perfectly polished stone. She called it a little luck for Kim. Now normally I'd be skeptical. Polished stones don't taste like freedom, but it's the thought that counts. And the thought? That someone out there sees me not just as a gorilla in a zoo, but as a being with dreams, desires, and a will to break barriers. That perspective hit me like a splash of cold water from the water feature. Refreshing, awakening, transformative. I tucked the stone into my secret stash and stared at it. Inspiration doesn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the smallest, seemingly insignificant gifts. I realized I don't have to fight this battle alone. There are allies among humans, allies among animals, and even unexpected allies in the structures and routines that once seemed like obstacles. Every rule Becky enforces, every corner she boards up, every snack she confiscates, all of it becomes data, intelligence, and strategy fuel. So I began to plan the real breakout. Operation Beyond the Bars, code name of course, would require more than muscle or stealth. It would require cunning, patience, and collaboration. My first step, scout every inch of the zoo at night. Humans sleep, cameras reset, and patrols relax. In this window, I mapped every possible exit, noting weak points, gates, fences, and the infamous southwest corner, the site of my previous snack fiasco. During my nighttime recon, I found unexpected allies. Birds, for instance. Tiny pigeons and clever crows who had been observing me for months. They chirped, flitted, and cawed in ways that seemed nonsensical at first, but gradually, patterns emerged. They were like the weather forecasters of the zoo world, alerting me to movement, patrols, and even the comings and goings of Becky herself. Who knew pigeons could be so tactical? Then came the emotional turning point. I sat atop the tallest rocks near the enclosure, watching the zoo lights flicker, imagining the world beyond. Freedom isn't just physical, it's emotional. I pictured the wind through my fur, the vast green landscapes, the taste of wild fruit untouched by human hands. I realized that the longing in my chest wasn't just for escape. It was for identity. Kim the gorilla, not Kim the attraction or Kim the branded zoo resident, but Kim the explorer, Kim the free, Kim the author of my own story. But inspiration alone isn't enough. It needs execution. I knew the first attempt had failed because I underestimated factors like timing, distractions, and emotional panic. Yes, the mouse incident happened. This time I created redundancies. Backup plans, contingencies, diversions, snack bribes. Emotional support leaves because mental health is serious business. Every detail was documented mentally. Every patrol, every human reaction, every potential obstacle. This wasn't reckless rebellion. This was strategic liberation. And then came my greatest revelation: humor as a weapon. Besties, never underestimate the power of laughter in the face of adversity. I realized that Becky, brilliant as she may be, has one predictable flaw. She underestimates how absurd I can make situations. While she's strategizing with Crocs and clipboards, I can disarm her with ridiculous antics, misdirection, and over-the-top dramatics. If escape is a chess game, humor is my queen. Versatile, unpredictable, and capable of changing the board in a single move. I spent days rehearsing, practicing jumps, stealth crawls, and comedic diversions. Janet, my loyal fence, creaked in approval as I performed high-stakes rehearsals in front of her. Every leap, every landing, every flail became second nature. I even experimented with decoy movements, teaching smaller animals to trigger noises at precise moments. The pigeons, they're my eyes in the sky. The raccoons, my ground-level operatives. Freedom, it turns out, is about coordination, alliances, and timing. And then, human allies stepped in again. Notes, small snacks, and encouragement left where only I could find them. One night I found a banana marked with a smiley face and the words, "You can do this, Kim." Tears, besties. Real, honest gorilla tears. In that moment I knew. This wasn't just about escaping the zoo. It was about proving to myself that I could take control of my life, my narrative, and my destiny. With allies, a solid plan, and an unshakable resolve, I set the date for Operation Beyond the Bars. I would wait for the perfect alignment, minimal human presence, maximum distraction potential, and the emotional momentum to carry me forward. Preparation became obsession, but in the best way. Focused, purposeful, necessary. But of course, even the best plans come with unpredictable variables. A sudden rainstorm could ruin my footing. A wandering dog could bark in alarm. A poorly timed sneeze from Becky could expose my presence. Yet all these possibilities only heightened the thrill. The tension became delicious. Every heartbeat, every glance, every rustle in the leaves reminded me that life outside the bars is within reach. If only I dare to claim it. And here's the truth. Besties, turning points aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're quiet. Contemplative nights atop a rock staring at stars, realizing your courage and resilience are far stronger than the walls around you. Sometimes it's a pigeon dropping a crumb in just the right place. Sometimes it's a human ally believing in you enough to leave a tiny symbol of hope. And sometimes it's a bruised banana that reminds you, even flawed tools can fuel great change. So now Kim the gorilla is ready. Mentally sharper, strategically smarter, emotionally stronger. The first attempt may have failed, but the turning point has arrived. Inspiration has been ignited, allies are aligned, and the plan is almost perfect. Tomorrow, besties, everything changes. The world will see Kim not as a caged attraction, but as a master of audacity, courage, and resilience. Freedom is near, and I can feel it in every fiber of my being. The bars are still there. Becky's blue Crocs still patrol the concrete floors. But inside me, a storm of determination is brewing, and soon, nothing will hold Kim the gorilla back. The Great Escape, heart, humor, and heroism, Kim the gorilla here. Besties, brace yourselves. Today is the day, the culmination of every stolen snack, whispered secret, and carefully plotted plan. Today I don't just attempt freedom, I claim it. Every fiber of my being vibrates with anticipation, courage, and a hint of dramatic flair. Because if you're going to escape a zoo, you might as well make it cinematic. The morning starts like any other. Becky lumbers around in her blue Crocs, clipboard in hand, patrolling with the confidence of a woman who thinks she knows everything. But I've anticipated this. I've watched her patterns for weeks, noting every break, every pause, every distracted glance. Today she is not my obstacle, she's part of my stage. I start with a diversion. My pigeon allies swoop low, squawking loudly, drawing Becky's attention toward the flamingo enclosure. She huffs, stomps, and attempts to shoo them away. Meanwhile, I slip toward the southwest corner, the scene of my previous snack-related debacle. Everything is timed, measured, rehearsed. Stealth mode activated, heart pounding, fur bristling, mind razor sharp. I reach the fence. Janet, my loyal confidant, creaks in approval. Today she is more than a fence. She is a partner in liberation. I examine every bolt, every weakness, every small gap I had previously noted. Then comes the leap, a precision jump, muscles coiled like springs, landing with grace and minimal sound. Victory is close, yet the real test lies ahead. Next obstacle, the observation gate. Security cameras blink innocently, recording my every move. But thanks to my human allies, a small strategically placed reflective object blinds one camera for just long enough. I slither through the gate, silent as a shadow. For the first time, the world beyond the enclosure feels real, tangible, within reach. My pulse quickens. This is it. And then, the unexpected variable. A young security guard, Greg, rounds the corner. Heart-stopping moment. We lock eyes, I freeze. For one glorious second, time suspends. Then instinct takes over. I execute the comic diversion maneuver. A sudden leap, dramatic tumble, and an exaggerated flop into the nearest mud puddle. Greg blinks. He laughs nervously. Perfect, human reaction neutralized. Kim the gorilla continues. The zoo beyond the enclosure is a maze of paths, gates, and human distractions. I navigate with precision, relying on intelligence gathered during weeks of observation. Pigeons guide me, raccoons nudge me from the ground, and Ellie's lucky stone warms my fur as a talisman of courage. Step by step, I move closer to the open gate that leads to freedom. But here comes the emotional moment, the metaphorical barrier. Far greater than metal or concrete, the wide open world stretches before me. Grass, sky, trees, real, untamed, unconfined. I hesitate. For years I've dreamed of this. For years I've plotted, rehearsed, risked humiliation, and risked hope. Now I must leave the known behind. The cage, my leafy pillow, my mineral mud spa, all comforts of the past, stand between me and the unknown. I take a deep breath. Not just for air, but for courage, for audacity, for identity. I leap, I bound, I swing. The world opens like a stage set perfectly for a gorilla's grand entrance into freedom. I feel wind against my fur. The thrill of movement unbound, muscles straining and flexing in exhilarating release. I am Kim the gorilla, no longer defined by walls or by Becky's crooked rules. I am Kim, the explorer, the hero of my own story. Of course, comedic elements persist. A misplaced rock sends me tumbling mid-leap, landing with a dramatic splash into a small pond. Water soaks fur, mud coats skin, and my dramatic roar echoes across the zoo grounds. Nearby humans gasp, some laugh, some scream. Perfect distraction maintained. Human attention neutralized. Every misstep is both an obstacle and a tool. A reminder that humor and creativity are essential in any heroic quest. As I approach the final gate, the one leading to the streets beyond the zoo, obstacles intensify. Becky appears late, panicked, crocs clattering, arms flailing. But she underestimated one critical element: unpredictability. I vault, spin, and execute a maneuver so fluid it feels choreographed by the gods of gorilla gymnastics. Becky reaches out, hand inches from fur, but too late. I am beyond the bars. The streets open before me. Freedom tastes salty, sweet, electric. I pause, chest heaving, fur glistening, eyes wide with awe. The world is bigger than I imagined, full of possibilities I had only glimpsed in dreams. Cars, humans, trees, and open space, chaos and opportunity in equal measure. And yet a calm settles over me. The cage, the rules, the bruised bananas, they no longer define me. I am Kim, free, triumphant, alive. But the escape isn't just physical, it's emotional. Every step I take away from the zoo, I shed fear, limitation, and doubt. Every glance at the sky, every sniff of the open air, every heartbeat of unrestrained freedom reinforces a profound truth. Courage, resilience, and hope can shatter even the strongest of barriers. And as I disappear into the horizon, blending with shadows, trees, and streets unknown, I carry the lessons of captivity with me. Humor, observation, strategic thinking, and allies. These are tools as powerful as strength or speed. And most importantly, hope. The quiet, persistent force that whispers you are not defined by confinement. You are defined by your courage to leap beyond it. Kim the gorilla here, reporting live from the precipice of a new life. I am free. Not just from the zoo, but from limitation, fear, and expectation. The story isn't over, far from it. But the most important chapter, the turning point of liberation, has been written. And the world will never look at Kim the gorilla, or anyone who dares to dream, quite the same way again. Freedom and reflection, life beyond the bars, Kim the gorilla here. Besties, brace yourselves, I did it. Truly, irrevocably, audaciously, I am free. The cages, the fences, the bruised bananas, and Becky's croc-stomping patrols all behind me. The concrete prison is a memory, a chapter closed, a story told. And yet, freedom is not simply walking into open space. It's realizing what freedom truly means, how it transforms you, and how the world beyond confinement is as complex as it is liberating. The first moments outside the zoo are surreal. The air is different, rich, unfiltered, filled with scents, sounds, and textures that were impossible behind bars. Grass brushes against my hands and feet. Trees stretch tall, untrimmed and untamed, reaching into skies I've only ever glimpsed from the other side of glass and mesh. A breeze tousles my fur, carrying the scent of adventure and opportunity. It's intoxicating, the kind of rush that makes every bruised banana, every thwarted escape, every comedic misstep worth it. I pause to take it all in, chest rising and falling like a drumbeat of triumph. The world is enormous, unpredictable, and glorious. And suddenly it hits me. Freedom isn't just a physical state. It's a mental and emotional awakening. It's claiming your story, your voice, your agency. It's the difference between existing and truly living. The first challenge? Orientation. Yes, even freedom has logistics. Streets are loud. Humans are unpredictable. Cars are terrifying. And sidewalks? Surprisingly challenging for gorillas in sneakers. Okay, I stole a pair of sneakers from a tourist, don't judge. They were part of my liberation gear. But each step forward is a lesson in adaptability, awareness, and confidence. Kim the gorilla is no longer a resident. I am an explorer. I find allies in unexpected places. Stray dogs offer companionship. Pigeons continue reconnaissance, and humans, those who once brought me snacks or whispered encouragement, serve as reminders that freedom doesn't mean solitude. True freedom is connection, choice, and the courage to act in alignment with your authentic self. Every glance, every interaction, every small kindness reinforces that I'm not alone in this world. And the humor. Oh, besties, never forget humor. Escaping the zoo was thrilling, but surviving the outside world requires creativity, cunning, and absurdity. I dodge a rogue bicycle. I leap over puddles with flair. I make dramatic poses on park benches to confuse humans who try to photograph me. Every laugh, every gasped reaction, every startled "oh my gosh, is that a gorilla?" fuels me with joy and confidence. Freedom is serious, yes, but it's also absurdly, wonderfully fun. Emotionally, the journey has been transformative. I reflect on the walls I left behind, the enclosures, the strict rules, Becky's obsessive control. These were not just physical barriers, they were mental. They tried to teach me limitation, obedience, and fear. But in leaving, I claim resilience, courage, and self-determination. I realize now that obstacles are only as strong as the belief you give them. Bruised bananas, harsh zookeepers, fenced corners, they were never my definition. I am defined by what I choose to do with freedom, hope, and opportunity. And the lessons? Oh, the lessons are profound. Resilience is a muscle. Every failure, stumble, and thwarted snack stash built the strength I needed to leap beyond the bars. Persistence transforms desperation into triumph. Allies make the impossible possible. From Ellie's lucky stone to pigeons in the sky, small acts of cooperation became the backbone of success. You can't always do everything alone. Humor is power. Laughing at chaos, missteps, and absurdity turns fear into strategy, paralysis into action, and challenges into opportunities. Hope is unstoppable. Even in confinement, bruised bananas couldn't crush my spirit. Freedom is as much a mindset as it is a destination. I wander further into the forested outskirts of the city, exploring rivers, climbing trees, and discovering places I had only imagined in the shadows of my enclosure. Every sensory detail, wind, water, earth, foliage, feels like affirmation. I am alive, I am whole, I am Kim. Night falls and I settle on a high branch, gazing at the stars. The constellations are unchanged, indifferent, eternal, but they shine brighter now because I am seeing them from a place of choice. I think of Janet, my fence confidant, of Becky, the relentless crock-wielding antagonist of Ellie and my human allies. Each played a role in shaping the journey, in testing limits, in teaching lessons about courage, humor, and hope. And as the cool night air brushes against my fur, I realize the final truth. Freedom is not a single act. It is an ongoing journey. Every day I wake in the open world, I exercise choice, curiosity, and creativity. Every day I navigate challenges. I embrace courage, humor, and resilience. Every day I remember the past. I honor growth and transformation. I also understand something, subtle but vital. Sometimes the bravest thing is not just escaping a cage, but embracing the unknown with open arms. Life outside is unpredictable. Danger exists. Mistakes happen. But so does beauty, connection, and the exhilarating rush of possibility. And Kim the gorilla? I'm ready for all of it. So, besties, here's the final thought. Cages may confine the body, but only fear confines the spirit. Humor, courage, allies, hope, and persistence can shatter walls far stronger than metal or concrete. Today, I leap freely, laugh wildly, and live fully. I am Kim the gorilla. Free, resilient, unstoppable. And though the world may never see me, again my story lives. Proof that audacity, planning, courage, and a little humor can change the course of any life, no matter how confined it may seem.